So let's talk about that really in-demand special skill. So I mentioned to you that I scoured the internet one day looking for special skills that casting directors wanted to see. And without fail, they all said the same thing. And I looked through pages, like the first 3 hits of pages on Google, and looked to see if there were reputable casting directors that were posting this, not just other actors or acting coaches, actual casting directors. And they all at some point mentioned the same special skill, and that is a foreign language. Now, even if you don't know, or even if you already know a foreign language fluently, then you may want to consider adding another one, but you at least need to know that it should be on your acting resume because casting directors love to see it. And this isn't just dialect, this is you being fluent in a foreign language. And I'm going to say besides English, because most of the actors watching this are from US or Canada. So if you are a native English speaker, then you definitely need to learn a foreign language. But it does not hurt for any actor, regardless of where you're from, to have know at least 2 languages and be fluent. So in this video, we're going to talk about 3 criteria to help you pick the best foreign language, and I'm going to give you my favorite tool and resource for learning one. So here are the 3 questions I want you to ask yourself. Number 1, what foreign language did you already learn in high school and college? So I already had 4 years of French under my belt, and even though I hadn't spoken it in years or looked at it in years, I was so surprised at how much I had retained when I started picking it back up again. Number 2 is, what foreign language do you think you would be cast for? Now, it's not always going to be an exact match, but here's the thing. You want to give yourself a leg up in the casting process. So if you look at yourself and think, okay, I think it would be reasonable to assume that I am a native speaker of this foreign language, then I want you to look into that language and see if it's one that you would like to learn. So for me, I think French would be a good fit, and I'll probably at some point try to learn German. That doesn't mean that I won't ever get cast speaking Mandarin or that somebody wouldn't want to cast me for that, but the likelihood is not as great as me getting cast for French or German. And number 3, what foreign culture do you already know and love? If you like to travel, or if you really just know that you're drawn to a certain culture, then look into learning that foreign language, even if you don't know that it fits your casting profile or your look or your type. Ultimately, you don't have control over your type, the casting director does, but you want to learn a language whose culture you love, because culture is a huge part of foreign language, and understanding culture will really impact how you speak the language. And there is a likelihood that you might get cast for a foreign language where you're actually going to be immersed in that culture while you're speaking it, while you're filming that project. So if there is a culture you already know and love, then learn that language. Here's another perk for adding a foreign language to your special skills section. And that is, you could also work as a translator or a tutor and make some extra money. Now, it's going to take you a little while to become fluent if you aren't already, but this payoff will make it worth it. So if you're looking for a way to generate extra income, which I think that you should be, then you could use those foreign language skills outside of just getting cast, and hey, that's going to do double duty, because then you'll be practicing that language and keeping up with it. You do need to understand that you need to dedicate time to learning this language and continuing to speak it, whether it's through speaking bots or meetups or you getting your own tutor, because you will lose it if you don't continue to use it. And I have talked to people that are from foreign countries that have moved to America, and now they're actually losing their original language because they speak to Americans in English way more than they speak to their friends and family back home in their own original language. So if you are somebody that is English as a second language, then you need to make sure that you're keeping up with your original language as well. So either way, whether you're English as a first language or a second language and you're learning a different language, make sure that you're keeping up with both. Try to be fluent in at least 2 languages. Additionally, you might want to look into speaking that dialect of whatever language you pick in English. So if I were going to learn French, it would also be beneficial for me at some point to look into speaking English in a French dialect. Let's talk about the free tool that I really want you to look into that you can download today. FYI, I think it's about to storm and the light is shifting a little bit. So if my light keeps changing, that is why, because I like it au naturel, like the sunlight. So my favorite free tool is Duolingo, and I'll link to that in the resources. Now it's absolutely free. You can upgrade to get rid of ads if you want, but they are focused on making foreign language education free for everyone. So I've always used the free version of it and I like it just fine. It's not aggravating. The ads don't really annoy me. Some of them are interactive and they're pretty cool. And Duolingo has gamified learning language. So it goes through like a game. You have different levels that you can reach. Check out the resources because I'm going to link over to a blog post that I did on this topic called One Crazy Useful Special Skill Casting Directors Love. And it's about the skill of foreign language. But I have 3 best study methods to really help you lock it in that I want you to go check out on that blog post. I am also going to link to an article from a platform called Babbel. Now, Babbel is like Duolingo. It's another app to help you learn a foreign language. However, I have personally not used it, so I can't give you a recommendation on it. But if you have and you like it, please share with the group. And if you know of another app that you really love, feel free to share that as well. But I want you to read this article from Babbel because it's the 9 easiest languages for English speakers to learn. So again, if English is your first language, then this article is going to be very beneficial to you. That's typically who is watching my content are people that have English as a first language. So I want you to check out that article and look through the 9 and see which ones match the criteria, if any, that we've already discussed. And then open up Duolingo and look through their list and just try it. So that's your action point. You're just gonna try. You're just gonna download Duolingo, check out that Babbel article, and then go through and say, okay, here are the criteria. Do any of these match the ones that are listed in this Babbel article? And then try Duolingo. It's free. You can download it today and get started. And I just want you to try 1 or 2 lessons of a language and see if you like the way the app is set up and if you think, okay, yeah, I could get started doing this. But the sooner the better, because it is going to take you some time to learn, but it is really in demand. And again, out of all the research I did, I saw that casting directors loved seeing a foreign language. Languages will be especially beneficial to those of you that want to be in action movies or spy movies. I mean, they're speaking foreign languages all the time. And sometimes if they like you as a talent and they are thinking, well, we really need this foreign language, but you're fluent in a different one, they'll probably just go with the one you know and make it work. Okay, so check out the resources so that you can get started and make sure that you finish those action steps before you move on to the next section.